Call this meeting to order at 5:03 p.m. We, the Municipality of Red Lake, acknowledge that our foundation and the spaces in which we live and maintain are on the lands of the Anishinaabe of Red Lake, the traditional lands of Lac Seul and Wabauskang First Nations, and Treaty 3 territory. As we are all treaty people, we will continue to cherish our reciprocity of all our relationships on these sacred lands and waters. Anyone present may not record and or leave cell phones on without permission. It's time for the disclosure of pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof. A, for the agenda of this meeting, and B, for the minute of a meeting in which a member was not in attendance. Seeing none, we'll move on to administrative reports. 4.1, CAO, Operations Staff Report from McKenzie Island Waste Disposal Site. Mr. CAO.
Okay, thank you. I will note that it's having a difficult time hearing, but so if there's any comments or questions, we'll do our best to answer them. So before you today, this particular item, which was generated from Todd Olson, our Infrastructure Development Coordinator, is to approve the preparation of a groundwater monitoring report for McKenzie Island Waste Disposal Site. So back in 2014, we had the KGS group conducted groundwater monitoring sampling program. And at that time, only raw data, lab data was requested by the Ontario's Ministry of Environment, Conservation and Parks. So recently, back in February, the MECP contacted staff requesting a report including technical analysis. So this is something that we did not budget for. So that's the reason why we're bringing it to council. However, I want to make note, and the treasurer could confirm this, that we believe we do have funds within our operating budget to cover this, but we just felt it important to bring it forward to council again, because it was an unforeseen expense. So it's a targeted investment in our infrastructure, waste management as per our strategic plan. At this point, I don't think we have any alternatives, although we could request to have it bumped to 2023. But given our financial relative stability at this point, I think we should just get it done. So I'll open it up to questions, comments, and perhaps if the treasurer wants to just confirm what I stated about the financial component, please feel free.
Yeah, so on average, out of our waste transfer site studies budget, for the last 4 years, our average is about $42,000 that we spend. We have $52,000 in that budget. So there's some wiggle room there.
Right on. So Mark, would they be wanting more studies after this particular one's done? Or is this just a one-time only?
Well, with any landfill site, Council Butterfield, there's continuous monitoring. So this is something that, as long as we're operating that site in which we operate it, which is unmanned, there'll always be a requirement. But at this time, I'm not aware of when the next requirements will be put upon us.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Resolved, or moved by Councillor Hager, seconded by Councillor Butterfield. Resolved that the Committee of the Whole hereby recommends Council accept staff report OPS-22-01 regarding the approval of the preparation of the groundwater monitoring report for the McKenzie Island Waste Disposal Site. All in favor? Carried. We'll move down to 4.1, Section 2, Human Resources Staff Report, RE, the disconnect from work policy. Mr. CAO.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. This particular staff report was generated by our Human Resources and Health and Safety Manager, Jasmine Rollins. The recommendation before you today is that Council approve the disconnect from work policy as presented. As a backgrounder, the province of Ontario in December of 2021 enacted Bill 27, Working for Workers Act 2021. So within that, there was changes to the Ontario Employment Standards Act to establish a requirement for employers with 20 more employees, which we have, within Ontario to prepare a written policy addressing disconnecting from work. I think we've all witnessed this, especially in the last 2.5 years, having the opportunity for our employees to disconnect is quite important for a person's well-being and sustaining a healthy work-life balance. I will make note that I believe that we've done a very good job with ensuring our employees have that balance. Can we do better in certain areas? Yes, we can, and we'll work towards that, knowing that the landscape has really changed as far as technology is concerned. So again, disconnecting from work policy supports each employee disconnecting from the work outside of their normal working hours, subject to reasonable expectations. So in those, in some positions, and we're all aware of it, it's just the nature of your duties require you to be available, inherent to the job. So you can't, there's the inability to completely disconnect, but again, we need to do what we can to ensure that we have a healthy workforce that are enjoying, again, having that work and personal life balance is very important. It's important to the well-being of to our employees, but also the well-being of our organization as a whole. We don't see any financial impacts based on the information we have at this time, and I believe that this is a policy. Of course, we're required to do it, but I think it's a policy that further demonstrates that we care about our employees and we want to ensure that we have a healthy and a healthy workforce moving forward. I'll open it up to any comments or questions. Thank you.
Any questions? Comments? No, I like that, the line in there, that it's convenient for me to send the email now, but I do not expect you to respond outside your normal hours. I think I'll be using that loss, because I tend to send emails late.
Yeah.
No other comments or questions?
My apologies, but you cut out on my end, Mr. Deputy.
I just said I plan on using the line in there about, I don't expect you to respond outside your normal hours. I'm sending the email because it's convenient for me right now.
No, and I appreciate that, and I think a lot of us do that. And a lot of times you've got an idea or something's come up, and you're for the most part just making note of it. And no, I appreciate that, and many times council has demonstrated that. And again, we're as senior staff, we're again trying to be very mindful and respect our employees' personal lives and the importance of it.
Okay. Moved by Councillor Butterfield, seconded by Councillor Hager. Resolved that the Committee of the Whole hereby recommends Council accept staff report HR 2022-01 regarding the approval of the disconnect from work policy. All in favor? Carried. Moved by Councillor Hager, seconded by Councillor Butterfield. Resolved that the Committee of the Whole hereby adjourns to meet again at the call of the chair. All in favor?